Hello, thanks for tuning in to this video. So yeah, got an email from Roland yesterday or the day before. An unexpected firmware update on the TR-6S. It's the same update for the 8S or the 6S. It does exactly the same thing, and it's got some really cool new features. I love it when you get a new firmware update on a piece of hardware, and it kind of makes it feel like you've got a completely new instrument. Synthstrom do it loads with the Deluge, which you can see over here. My good old trusty Deluge. Whenever they put a new firmware update out, it's like having a whole new piece of hardware, which is really cool. And that's what this new update is done for the TR-S series. So for the 6 and the 8, it's exactly the same. So we've got some new sounds. We've got some FM sounds, which at first I thought, yeah, but actually they're really cool. You can do some crazy sound design stuff with them. What else have we got? We've got some new effects. We've got probability, which is very cool, which I use a lot on the Deluge, which I'll show you all a bit about that. And then you can kind of instantly swap out. There's like a random kit load function thing as well. So let's get through. I'll kind of go through my thoughts on the whole thing. I'm going to do it. Let's just switch over to start off with. Now the TR editor has also had an upgrade, basically to allow for all the new features that we've got. So kind of if we go on instruments, if we go on the kicks, you can see this is the new FM thing, okay, where it says FM kick model. So these are the new FM sounds, and we've got a bass drum, we've got a snare drum, there's a tom, and there are claps. I think so, if we can find it. So there's the snare drum one. So basically what you're looking out for is FM model. So there's the tom one. We've not got that. Have we got a hi-hat one? Yeah, we've got a hi-hat one as well. So yeah, plenty of new sounds in there. And like I say, this software's been updated to allow for that. And obviously all the new random things and the new effects you can get from the editor. Now I'm going to do it all from the hardware because I personally think it's the best way to try and learn it, I think anyway, from the hardware, to use the shortcuts and key presses, and then if you want to make it life a little bit easier, then do it from the editor. Purely because I use this as part of my live set. I'm going to start using it a bit more, actually. I have used it in the past. I haven't a lot, and I'm going to start using it a little bit more. So I just think if you learn it that way round, you kind of know everything on the unit and then go for the hardware thing. Now, the one thing that I wish Roland had done on the editor is give you the option to resize the damn thing, because you can't do it. It's like Contact and Complete Control. I love Native Instruments stuff, and I've got really into Native Instruments over the summer. So I'm going to have some videos coming up on those. But you can't resize the flipping interface thing here, and if you can just see, if I drag that up and then let go, there's stuff down at the bottom and I can't access it because I can't resize it without having to faff about changing the resolution on my laptop. If anybody knows a way around it so I can actually see the bottom of the screen, because you can't scroll down, and there's like the little step editor, the pattern editor and stuff down the bottom, and it drives me mad, which is one of the reasons why I don't use the editor as much. But there we go, that's just me. Roland, sort it out so I can resize it. But anyway, so let's go over to look at the unit itself, and that's going to really annoy me because that's not straight, and there we go, OCD kicking in. Get it nice and straight. So let's have a listen to some of the sounds first. I've got basic little pattern programmed in. So if we go with the kick drum first, and let's have a listen to the FM sound on the kick drum. So it's going to go to instrument, and then all you got to do is just scroll through until you find it, which I apologise for. It's probably going to take me forever. So it's not that FM taste one. You got to go for FM model, whatever it's called. FM kick mode. No, FM kick model, not mode. Now you can hear that's kind of changing. I've actually got the LFO set up on that. So let me just get rid of the LFO thing at the moment, because I've got it adjusting the depth of the thing. I'll show you how I did that in a minute, just so we get the basic sound. Okay, so that's kind of like how it's set up at the moment. So to edit it, what we're going to do is, I mean, you probably know this already, but we're going to go Shift and press Instrument, and then we're going to go scroll through until you get to the FM section. So we've got FM depth. So if you listen to the difference, if I take that down completely, we get a really, I mean, that's just a lovely sound on its own. Let's get rid of everything so you can just hear the kick drum. So as we bring that depth up, we start to get a bit of a choo kind of sound. Just gives it a bit more beef. Let's go extreme. Okay, all the way up. Yep, okay. We've got ratio. Now I find that if you have like even numbers, it kind of sounds a lot more sort of in tune and a little less dissonant. And obviously the higher you go, that's going to go, I mean, you can go crazy. Let's take that down to something a bit more usable. And then we've got the decay, which, you know, getting some like tuned 808 kind of, I mean, sounds, I mean, obviously you can do that on here anyway, but very nice. And then feedback's going to kind of give it some crazy crunch. So I'm just going to take the feedback down for a bit. So yeah, then obviously we can assign any of these FM controls to the LFO or our control dial here. A really quick and easy way, and I don't know if this is a new feature or not, but it's something I've only just recently discovered, to assign what this dial is doing, the control. At the moment, I've got it on, well, it's on FM depth, but if you just hold kit and turn this, you can choose what you want that to control. So I want FM depth at the moment. Okay, so we could assign the LFO to that dial to do that for us, and then we could use that for something else if we wanted to have a crazy sound like that. So again, all we do is go into editing mode, and we'll find the LFO, and I can assign it to, like, say, any of the FM controls. So we're going to go FM depth, and let's just whack that right the way up, so you can hear it doing its crazy LFO thing. So lots of stuff, you know, you can mess about with on sound design with that. So let's have a listen to some of the others. Let's have a listen to the snare drum, which is a bit quiet at the moment, but so again, just got to scroll through till we find it. There it is. And again, shift an instrument. And go to the FM stuff. So you can start to get into, like, you know, weird sound design territory, and kind of make some of these sound like synths as well. I mean, you know, that sounds awful, but you kind of get the idea. So I won't go through all the sounds, because otherwise this video will be here going on forever. But you get the idea that, you know, you can have a mess about with those. One feature that is on just the clap, which is pretty cool, which you can actually see, I think, if it'll come up on screen. Let me let's just go over to the screen. And if we load the clap model in, you can see down here we've got this thing that says claps and claps interval. So you can kind of make it sound, I've not actually worked out how to do this from the hardware yet, so I'll do this from the software. I realised I've got it on the wrong thing, so let's just change it over here. Okay, so you can kind of get like almost like a ratchet kind of thing going, but you can get this interval going between the claps. Obviously, you can hear how it's changing with these controls off here. So I mean, it is easier just to see the controls on here. But let's bring. It's okay, you know, you can get some crazy nonsense going off. See that now? That clap's just gone completely. We've just got this like pingy sort of sound. So, like I say, we've just turned that clap from a clap, you know, almost into a like a synth sort of sound, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much it on the sort of the basics of the FM stuff. Obviously, you can. I'm just going to get this back to a basic sort of clap sound. And oh, sorry. Yes, I changed the hi-hat to a clap by mistake. Let's get that back. Okay, so let's just change the snare drum as well. We'll go with the basic 808 snare for now. So that's quite a nice little groove going. So one of the other new features is we can instantly swap out all the samples on here, and it will kind of assign, you know, assuming you've got it like this, you've got bass drum, snare drum, you've got low tom and so on there, it will put them in the correct category. So to do this, all we're going to do is we're going to press sample and then press the instrument. So it's a nice way just of just getting some random sounds going. So that's a nice one, you know, liking the sound of the tom on that one. And obviously you can save that. And so on. If you want to go back to your original sound, what you're going to do is press sample, utility, and then instrument. Okay, and it's going to take you back to your original sound. Now, I'd actually changed a few sounds during the demonstration of this. It's actually taking it right back to the original sound, which is very useful. You can also do the same thing with individual instruments. So if I want to do the same thing with, say, just want to change the bass drum, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to press sample. Okay, so you can also do the same thing just with individual instruments. You don't have to do the whole kit. So let's say I want to audition or just randomly try some different bass drum sounds. All you can do is hold sample and press the instrument you want to change. And if you want to get them back, again, you can do it individually. Sample, utility, back to there. Or if you want to get everything back as it was, as before, sample, utility, instrument, and you're back where you started. So again, nice for just sort of trying out different kits that you perhaps wouldn't try with a group of different random samples. And then the last thing we've got is the probability function, which is great. Again, things like the Deluge and lots of other hardware have had this for a while. Great that it's now here on the TR range of stuff, because this is kind of just, it means you get a nice bit of randomness on your patterns, almost like a drummer would play, without having to practice, without having to program like an 8-bar loop or whatever to get a bit of variety. So I'm a drummer, so the probability for me is my brain that if I'm playing a groove, every now and then I will put an extra different fill in or, you know, change stuff around. So let's say on this snare drum, let's just get rid of turn the gain up. So it's a little bit quiet, a bit loud now. Okay, so Let's put this little fill in here, and we'll put another one in there. So what I want to do is we're going to change the probability of how often these are going to play. So this one here, all we're going to do is we're going to hold that step down, and then you've got your copying utility takes you through the different things for sort of automating that step. So if we go across until we get to probability, so I'm going to give that a probability of say 60%. This one, I know, let's do 70, and this one, let's do 50. Okay, so now as we play it, you will hear that these are not going to play every time. They're just going to happen based on the probability settings. Okay, so we didn't get them that time. We got both of them that time. Didn't get that one. It's just a great way of just getting that slight bit of variety. I mean, I would probably take that down even more. Let's just take them down a little bit more. So we've got, I'll take them all down by 10%. Okay, so really nice just to give it that sort of human drummer feel of playing in a drum machine. We've also got sub probability. So let's go to the hi-hats, and we're going to put all 16ths on here. That's the hand clap. I knew that. Let's just get rid of that. Oh dear. There we go. There's the hi-hat. Okay, so our sub probability, let's say, then we'll take this step, we're going to hold it, and we're going to go across one more. We've got sub probability. That's not going to give a probability of whether that one plays or not. It's going to give a probability of whether it plays a sub step based on the settings here. So at the moment we've got it on 1, 2. So let's just put that on 90% so you can hear it. It's going to do it most times. Okay, so here we've got that. So just every now and then we're going to get that extra little hi-hat fill. Great for, you know, trap kind of grooves and that sort of thing. So what we could do is say on this one, we could change that sub. So let's change that sub to, let's go quarters. Now at the moment, obviously that's on 100%. So sometimes we'll get the sub-step playing, other times we won't. So with all these different kind of things interacting with each other, we can get really nice evolving drum patterns off one bar, basically, which is really cool. So, I know, let's say with this one, we'll do it as triplets. And we'll take the probability of that down. And obviously we could, you know, do the normal probability as well. So a really cool way of getting, you know, nice evolving patterns. Brilliant stuff, love it. And then the last one is master probability. This is a little bit of a faff to set up, but this is something that I'm going to use for, certainly I think, for playing live. One of the things I use my Deluge for, let's go back there so you can see me, when I'm playing live is I will just kind of, for some random drum fills, so I'll have it playing, it's all kind of synchronized up with Ableton, and then I'll just like turn pads on. Obviously this isn't the Deluge, this is a push, just in case you're wondering, but as it's kind of scrolling through a bar, I will light up certain things on the snare drum, certain pads, and then take ones out. We'll get loads of different like random drum fills. We can kind of do the same thing on here now, which is very, very cool, and this is something I'm definitely going to be using. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of everything. We're going to have everything on all 16ths. Bit of a pain to set up, but you only got to do it once. What I'm going to do is go through every single one of these and put it on a probability of 0, apart from the backbeats, okay, which is step 5 there and step 13, I think, if I remember rightly. So we'll get just like a normal sort of snare sort of fill, and then the master probability kind of gives you these different, oh no, I need to have that one on full, kind of layers of snare drum fill, right. Get rid of that hand clap for now. So you can hear for now. Okay, the snare drum is just playing on beat 2 and beat 4. So to get into the master probability, what we're going to do is we're going to press these two down. Okay, and then this dial is going to affect the accent, and this one is now our master probability. So if it's on 0, what this does is anything that's set with a probability of 0, it will change the probability of that it will play. Okay, so as I turn this up, so obviously if I go full, it's going to put everything on. So if I want to just like snare drum fills, which is great. You can just get these evolving snare drum fills every now and then. Let's bring everything else back in. Let's get rid of the hand clap. But obviously you've got to make sure it does go back down to 0. Because if you leave it on that and come out of that, it's obviously going to keep that thing going. So sometimes getting it back to 0 is a little bit tricky. But really nice for a kind of a live performance sort of tool. And so, yeah, there we have it. A little run through of the new cool features on the TR-6S. The TR-8S does exactly the same thing. Obviously, there'll be slightly different button presses to get to that. I think only the main difference, is just getting into the master probability. I think you just got to press the accent button. That will get you into there. And obviously, you've got on the TR-8S, you've got the 3 controls here. Let's go back to there. You've got 3 controls there per track. Obviously, with this, you can it's only on the one that's selected. But there we go. I hope that was sort of useful. And if you weren't aware of the update, go get it. It's completely free. Dead easy to put in there and install. And it gives you a load of new features and some nice new sounds. And yeah, if anybody does know how to resize the editor, please let me know, because it's driving me mad. And if not, we need to get Roland and also Native Instruments to give us the option to resize the interface, because it's not that difficult, surely, in this day and age. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you like what I do, give us a thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notifications for when I upload new stuff. If you don't like what I do, don't watch it, simple as that. Subscribe, usual things. If you want to help the channel out, keep it going, then you can do so via Patreon. There are various different levels of Patreon support you can give, and you will get some free stuff with that as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.